Okay, let's call to order the planning committee meeting for Tuesday, March the 3rd, 4 o'clock. A motion on the minutes. All those in favor, contrary carried. Next meeting will be here, and we have an agenda in front of us, and we'll have one manager's report after. All right, first one's a response to Metro Vancouver's pre-consultation, Metro 2050 amendments, options in response to the South of the Fraser Mayor's request, and we've got Emily and John on it. So I'll pass the mic to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have nothing further to add, but wanted to highlight a couple of key elements in the report. This report responds to Metro Vancouver's request for pre-consultation input from member municipalities on potential changes to Metro Vancouver's regional growth strategy, or also known as Metro 2050. The potential changes to Metro 2050 are options for consideration in response to a request from the mayors of Delta, Surrey, and Langley Township, as they have expressed concerns that Metro 2050 is limiting their ability to accommodate growth, related demands for housing, employment lands, and essential services. The proposed amendment to options as prepared by Metro Vancouver staff and endorsed by the board for consideration seek to improve flexibility in amending the urban containment boundary, lower amendment decision-making thresholds, and allow new site-specific area considerations for future growth. Staff have reviewed these options to determine the potential impacts to Richmond and the regional objective of having an urban containment boundary to manage urban growth on agriculture, conservation lands, and rural designated lands. And with that, staff are of the opinion that the proposed amendments would have little benefit to the City of Richmond, would undermine also the regional goal of compact urban transit-oriented development, and undermine the region's main growth management tool, the urban containment boundary, while increasing flexibility to the 3 south of the Fraser municipalities. So staff recommend that committee endorse these comments for council's consideration and submit a letter to Metro Vancouver Board prior to the March 20th deadline. And lastly, I'd like to just add that Metro Vancouver staff are here in attendance today, and we're happy to answer any questions.
So you basically made a comment where you deemed appropriate that we should comment on.
That's correct.
As opposed to the position of some of the other cities.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Carol.
Thank you so much, and thank you for breaking this down for us. I'm looking at these proposed amendments, and they all make complete sense. It seems like Metro Vancouver is trying to take away some of our ability to control development in Richmond. If I got that right?
Through the chair to Councillor Day, I wouldn't say they're taking away anything from City of Richmond in particular. It does lower the bar as far as the amendment threshold is concerned. If there's applications to amend the regional growth strategy, and it essentially favors those municipalities south of the Fraser, but I wouldn't say it has any real specific impact to Richmond. It's very minimal, what's being proposed.
Well, because on number 1, it said add new special study areas, and it says Richmond does not have special study areas, and that this proposed amendment would not permit the city to identify new ones. That's kind of restricting us.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Day, special study areas are usually identified when the entire regional growth strategy is being reviewed. They're not usually added kind of intermittently. What's being proposed here, and once again, these are just options for consideration, is that the south of the Fraser municipalities be allowed to add special study areas where they think there might be some growth-related concerns and areas that need some extra attention. That would only apply to those 3 municipalities and not Richmond. So once again, doesn't really benefit us.
So why isn't it the same rules for every city? That doesn't make sense to me. And in terms of densifying industrial land, we've long talked about wanting to make the best possible use of our industrial land, and this could potentially harm or, restrict that as well.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Day, certainly I think the south of the Fraser municipality is probably looking for some flexibility on converting rural land to either industrial or employment land that's outside of the urban containment boundary, and are requesting, I guess, a change in the amendment formula so that it lowers the threshold rather than a 2/3 vote from Metro Board. It would be 50%.
Okay, and last thing, does Metro Vancouver have supremacy over Richmond?
Through the chair to Councillor Day, no, I wouldn't say that. It's a federation and collaborative effort, and everyone has different levels of areas that they manage.
So that's why we're putting these proposed changes. Thank you so much.
Andy, there we go.
Thank you, through the chair. Yeah, no questions. Just a quick comment. I really appreciate the analysis and the summary. and not just the impact on Richmond, but the more global impact in Metro Vancouver. So I'll be supporting the recommendation and endorsing it. Thank you.
Alexa? Hang on, there we go.
Thank you, through the chair. Thank you for this information and thank you for going through it. If I may, I'd like to add a little bit of context to this because we were at, Councilor McNulty, the mayor and I were at Metro the other day. One of the motions that came forward, and it was a recently tabled motion, so it was only a one-pager. There wasn't any sort of backup data on it or anything else, and we ended up referring it back to get more information to better understand it. But what was happening was Surrey essentially wanted to take all non-ALR land and be able to put it in the urban containment boundary. And so that's what they were looking to do, is expand theirs, have more possibilities to do more stuff. They're planning to grow to 1 million people by, I think, 2050 or something, or sooner than that. So they've got some big plans of how much they want to grow, and they want the ability to do that. And they were complaining that it takes a couple of years to get a piece out, and it's a long process. And so what this does is it does tighten it up and make it quite a bit quicker for them to go through the process. 50% plus one still requires some oversight from Metro Vancouver instead of just the carte blanche, take it all, do whatever you like. So it does keep some lids on it. Richmond hasn't been asking for anything. We haven't asked to grow our urban containment boundary. One of the challenges of allowing someone to expand the urban containment boundary is to talk about the cost of running your sewers longer, farther, and what that means. I've advocated that we should have a decentralized sewage system so everybody just pays for what they contribute sewage into and pay for it and vote on that. And so maybe with the whole governance review, we'll end up with something closer to that. And so it'll kind of be a non-issue to us one way or the other. So I thank you for this report.
Yeah, just before I go to Michael online, just following up that Councilor was much more polite than I am sometimes. You know, this Metro 2050, if you've read it all, we bought in, we all bought in, and we all developed this together, and we all said we would agree to work together. However, some people along the way have changed the tune. To answer Councilor Day's question, some people want to do their own thing, and don't, when they come to the table, they don't bring their regional hat, they bring their local hat. And I'll just leave it at that. And Richmond has worked hard to develop the whole region, and we're a region of 22 organizations and not just one. Together we can, we'll get to where we want to. Alone we won't get anywhere. Anyhow, with that, I'm going to say to Councillor Wolf, you're online. Are you there, Michael?
Yes, thank you very
ahead.
much. And I would echo more closely to Councillor or Chair McNulty's comments. I feel this was already established, and to make this drastic of a change, which was originally requested, like Councillor Luber pointed out, I think should go against what the larger regional, more long-term strategy is intended to be. Staff made some great comments in the report, highlighting that as more land south of the Fraser could be unlocked for growth under proposed amendments, uneven expansion could create ecological pressures and contribute to long-term imbalances in economic and infrastructure investment. I really value the kind of in-depth and forward-thinking that went into the research here by staff, the comments, and then officially what's in the table summary, I guess. I just wondered if staff could clarify, or someone else at the table who maybe knows a bit better, is there another set of lingo or short forms to describe the type 1, the type 2, and the type 3 amendments? Just because even the way it's described, I think there must be a simpler way to think about that style. I don't know if you can relate it to something in Richmond or or like what is the clear differences between those three amendments that clearly Surrey is trying to have the easiest options for everything. But what's the comments here from staff are critical on making these changes to the different amendment processes. So I don't know if staff or even Metro staff could provide that, because I'm not on the housing committee where maybe that kind of lingo is common known.
You want to tackle that?
Sure, through the chair to Councillor Wolf, I'll give it a quick shot here, and if that doesn't work, I'll ask Metro staff to come up. But the three amendment types are unique to Metro Vancouver, they're not unique here to the city of Richmond. So type 1 is essentially when you have a new plan being adopted. It does require 50% of the Metro board to adopt it, but it also requires unanimous consent from all member municipalities. So that has basically the highest barrier for adoption. Type 2 is 2/3 of the board would have to support it, but does not require unanimous consent from all member municipalities. And type 3 is a 50% vote, does not require unanimous consent. So I don't know if that simplifies it, but, and there's different criteria what falls under type 1, 2, and 3.
You okay with that?
Yeah, and like you mentioned, and they're not, a lot of these amendments relate to Richmond because we don't have kind of that rural land designation and other things you mentioned. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Do you want anything further?
Nope.
Okay. Second, all those in favor? Contrary carried. Thank you very much, staff, for your work. Okay, all good? Move on. The next item is harmonizing of the basic universal housing features with the BC Building Code and the adaptable dwelling unit regulations. And Mr. Cooper, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Happy to answer questions.
Oh, okay. Do we have any questions on that? Good job. Hey, Carol, are you getting excited there? Okay, I'll get it. There we go.
I didn't actually have a question, but I did just have a statement that, or a comment that I was really pleased to see that the Richmond Accessibility Advisory Committee was able to make comments. And I think having slightly larger areas for turning wheelchairs and walkers around makes logical sense. Not much point in having an accessible unit if people can't move around in it. So thanks for these amendments. I think they're a great idea.
Their comment is always appreciated. They're very, one of our better committees in terms of input. Any other questions? Move the recommendation. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Sorry you had to stay so long. Okay. Next item is the housing agreement, moderate market rental housing at 9,000 number 3 road for bylaw 10690 to permit the city to secure moderate rental units at 9,000 number 3 road in Greg Newman and Laurel. And anything to add or explain?
Nothing to add, Mr. Chair.
No? All right. Seconded? All right, Carol?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this project. I mean, 64 units and 7 of them below market rents. Really great that we're getting a rental unit building. Is there any idea of when completion might be?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would probably have to defer that to my colleagues in development approvals.
Oh.
Thanks, and through the chair, the applicant is currently working on addressing all of their considerations associated with the rezoning and development permits, this housing agreement being one of them. So once the permits are issued and the bylaws so adopted, they would be able to apply for and be issued a building permit. I do know that the applicant is in the audience today. They may be able to provide you with a better estimate in terms of construction timing and occupancy.
And we're fast tracking this, given that it's 100% rental?
Through the chair, that's correct.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, motion seconded. All those in favor, contrary carried. Thank you. And our last is a housing agreement and application by BC Housing and Polygon for Tall Star Development at 3468 Ketchison Court. And we're to give a first, second, and third readings. Greg, again, anything to add?
Nothing to add, Mr. Chair.
Any problems there? Seconded. All those in favor, contrary carried. Thank you very much. It's nice to see those things move along quickly. The manager's report. We have one, and then we have an in camera.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Just one update for committee. I did send around a memo last week just advising that the developer for 13131 and 131111, et cetera, number 2 road, the Jim Pattison developments, they will be hosting a developer-led drop-in style information session next week on March 12th between 5 and 7 p.m. at the Steveston Hub. The proposed development includes a 5- and 6-story mixed tenure residential and commercial building. The session will be hosted and led by the developer, and a summary of the consultation will be provided by the applicant to staff as part of the processing of the application, which will be forwarded to council in the future.
Excellent. Okay, Carol.
Could we get a copy of what will be at that open house if we're unable to attend? I'd like to see what they've done with the roof lines and, you know, the particular configuration of the commercial. At one point, it was like 2-story commercial and all that. So could we get that presentation in advance?
Through the chair, I can certainly reach out to the applicant to see if we can get that in advance. Certainly after the session, we would be able to circulate that as well too. So we will try in advance. If not, you will get a copy of it circulated
Okay.
following the session.
All right. The more we know, the better. Thank you.
Okay, Andy, sorry.
Thank you, and through the chair. Just notification to the public, the radius for that, for notification from the site is 100 meters or what?
Correct. Through the chair to Councillor Hobbs, it was based on the rezoning application radius, so the radius being 100 meters.
Yeah, I hope a lot of people attend because we've had a lot of mail on that from different people at all stages. So I hope they pay attention to the fact that it's happening. Thanks.
Actually, through the chair, what I can add too is there has been additional online digital advertising as
good.
well that has been done. So it has reached a larger audience as well too. I think it was posted on the Richmond News actually earlier today.
Excellent. Great. Thank you.
Just a quick question on process. After this public hearing, this is done by the developer, correct?
Through the chair, correct, it is a developer-led information session. It is not a public hearing. It's still scheduled. We will receive a summary of all of the input and comments that are heard at the session that will be provided to committee and council for consideration at the time that the rezoning and OCP amendment are brought forward. And at that time, a public hearing will also be required and held.
I guess what I'm worried is about getting information that the developer's gone out to the public before staff have had a chance to vet the thing and work with the developer to come back.
Through the chair, staff have been working with the developer on the revised concept. And so there has been some work done today at the staff level with the developer. We do anticipate, again, that subject to any feedback and comments that they receive through the developer-led information session, that would be incorporated and presented to council and committee in a fulsome report.
I just want to make sure we're independent and we're not perjured in anything because of something where staff haven't had. We're going to look at your recommendation when the time comes. Okay, good. Thank you very much for the update. Excuse me, motion to adjourn.